Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today I'm going to be going over the new Gems of War Mythic of Helilya. So she's available in the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chest for this week only, and then she'll be in the drop table with everything else. We do have a Vault event weekend this weekend, so we can end up utilizing all the loot that we end up getting from that to go and open up keys to try to get her. As far as the Mythic itself, it is definitely an above average Mythic, however pretty niche as far as when you would end up using it in the current state of the game. She ends up dealing a bunch of damage to the two weakest enemies, so it'll automatically hit whatever two have the lowest HP and armor combination, boosted by freeze gems for a little bit extra damage, and skulls, and then ends up creating a mix of freeze gems and doom skulls, which of course also count as normal skulls for her boost ratio. So she does create both the things that she needs for her boost ratio. The biggest issue with this is the amount of gems spawn in total is pretty low. When we compare this to other troops that basically do this exact same mechanic, we have things like Wild King. Of course, she only did 18. A mix of 18. This does a mix of 22, same as Wild Queen. Then we have things like Rafaman, which ends up doing, I believe, what was it, 24 or whatever it was? Where's Rafaman? Rafaman with the 24 mix between doing skulls and purple gems. And yes, she does do it for Doom Skulls as far as what she does for her ability, so she does get to explode and everything. But your initial extra turn chance is quite a bit lower with her. Her main follow-up's kind of nice, you know, actually be able to do some damage or something. But it still seems like it's overall going to be weaker than Wild King, has less utility than Rafaman. So it's going to be very niche when you bring this out. You're definitely bringing it out for Glacial Peaks. You could probably bring it into some Undead and Fey teams. But I don't really see too many situations where if you're building a 4-time skull spam team, or not necessarily a 4-time skull spam team, but you know what I mean. If you're building a pure skull spam team to any degree, I'm just not sure when you're really going to bring her in. The other thing that's a little bit of an issue with her is she just doesn't really get any good traits. She is undead, so she does have the Undying trait, which is pretty much just a dead trait that does almost nothing. She has Ice Storm, which is not bad, synergizes pretty well with what she has. But her final perk is probably the one that makes her not that ideal a lot of times. And it barely does anything at all. It just converts 2 blue gems into freeze gems. The problem with this is converting a blue gem into a blue gem. So at no point are you getting any amount of extra mana potential or extra turn potential or anything. The only thing that you're doing is creating slightly higher ability to go freeze the enemy team, or more so for the enemy team to freeze you. Because one thing that's pretty noteworthy about her, given her kingdom and given her effect and everything, she does not have immune to freeze. So you have to put either some kind of cleanse, Wand of Stars, or something else on your team to even make it so she doesn't freeze herself. Which is pretty bad when something doesn't have immune to its own mechanic that it spams like this. It's an issue that a lot of power gems has, and she is no different in that regard, so a little unfortunate that this wasn't like impervious instead of undying or some similar thing, so that I could have gotten a little bit better value there. But anyways, let's go to the key opening and go over all the teams, of course, which will be in the description below if you want to go and copy paste any of them. Aw, come on, we opened like 20 event keys the other day and just pulled a mythic. Of course, the second we actually need our mythic, we're barely going to get it. It's about a 1 in 1,000. We're like, what, 800 in? Well, I'll keep going until we get it. 1,000. Oh no, we're going over drop rate already. Come on. Oh no. It's so funny. Whenever we'll go and just open like a few keys just for fun, we'll get a mythic like every time. Yet when I actually want the mythic, we're 1,800 in, and we finally got her. A little unfortunate, but there she is. Anyways, let's go upgrade this thing, go put it in the teams, and yeah, let's go test it out and see what this thing can do. Helilya, where'd she go? Upgradable. Where's upgradable? There it is. Go to that. Hyla, level up. Orb. Big old green orb. Oh no, do we elite level her? What does she get for elite level? She gets 666. She's one of the 666 ones. Honestly, given that she's really skull oriented, this is not bad. I kind of got to the point where I've upgraded everything that's even like remotely slightly viable, and I would say she is in the category of slightly remotely viable. So you know what? Yeah, we'll give it to you. Why not? Where are the orbs again? Let me go use those. Why not? We'll go max her. There we go. It's not much, but 6 to everything but magic is what she ultimately gets for that. And of course the border and everything like you normally would for anything like that. I'll go get her out. Where is she? Where is it? Alphabetical order, how's it work? Wait, is that not her name? Wait, I'm so confused now. Wait, shouldn't she be like right here? Healy? I keep spelling her name wrong. I keep trying to think of this name as like 3 different things. Let's see. It is... Where'd it go? It is... If we could get there. Helilya. Okay, so kind of like hell. Alright, there we go. We'll get her in there. Get her into the other one. And then our final one here. All right, let's start from the top. So, about to do Explore 12. Oh, another star for Glacial Peaks. Up 29. Oh, yeah, that was one I was trying to max out, too. Oh. We need 5 more gold elite levels. Gosh, that's one of the things I got to do this weekend, too, especially if we have 20% Flower Dragon. I got to go do a bunch of Explore 12. I ended up upgrading a bunch of kingdoms, and that's actually one of the ones I need to go get up. And hey, even more of a reason, even more synergy within the kingdom now. But hey, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, another one ticked off the list. That's kind of funny. Anyways, that's some help if you need to go get 5-star, 10-star, 20-star, 30-star Glacial Peaks. Another thing to assist in that, if nothing else. But anyways, let's go get all of the battles down. So, first things first, this is a double kill or double target oriented team, where basically everything on our team hits 2 things at once. We have our big blue weapon that will be hitting the first 2 allies. She automatically hits the weakest 2, which will be whatever we hit with our 2 allies on that. And then Takshaka will be able to hit one of the 2 that we want, though the other one will be random, and we'll hope that it hits the other remaining one. The only slight issue with this team is it is oriented to hoping we just get blue mana. We don't actually have another mana accumulator to really get it going, but worst comes to worst, once we just get Zolgoth down and everything, we should be good to go. I wish we could have gotten just a little bit more blue than what we ended up getting here, because we do ideally want at least 1 cast of that before we get rolling here. Of course, she does not have immune to freeze. This is by far probably the weirdest thing about her, that I really don't understand why I didn't give her Pervious or something similar. Because right now, given that we don't have freeze, I can't just go and use this like we would want to normally. Actually, I can't even technically take this. That's even more annoying too. I can't even technically take that. We just lose our turn. So unfortunate. Let's see. We got webbed on that. We're just going to have to go for Zolgoth and go from there, it looks like. We'll go get that down, start getting our skulls and everything. It's really awkward with everything that we're currently frozen on, but hopefully she will not end up missing. Of course, her biggest upside, she does get Doom Skulls. While it is less amount of gem spawn, she is getting more damage per the total amount of skulls that she's getting, compared to a like different kind of skull spam in the same regard, like Wild Queen or something similar. Plus, I did not mean to use the same team again. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Retreat, retreat, retreat. Go back. We're not forming Explore. I'm trying to use all the teams. But I didn't feel like we really got to use the weapon there that much. For the next one here, we're doing a 4 times Glacial Peaks team. Of course, Glacial Peaks gains quite a bit of various stats. We do also have 3 times Fae, the only thing not being Fae being the Dragon here with triple damage freeze. Of course, trying to utilize the freeze gem sum in order to get that off. A lot of things in this kingdom already have access to freeze, though, of course, as we mentioned earlier, and saw very detrimentally in that one battle, she does not have any immune to freeze. I don't know why they didn't give her immune to freeze, given that she already spams so much on the board, which ultimately just makes her herself get frozen. A little unfortunate. We'll go for the mana here. Actually, do we have alignment? Red to blue, red to blue. Yes, we do. So we'll go for that, get all that rolling. See if we can get everything going. That should be fine. Actually, should have kept that blue there so we had better extra turn chance. So we should be able to get some pretty decent damage here if we land our extra turn. That's the biggest issue with her every single time. Do we actually get the extra turn or not? And there we did, but there will be quite a few times where we unfortunately won't end up getting it. And of course, we'll go for her again, get that little bit of skull spam, get our extra turn, skull, skull, and that should be match. And of course, with the Doom Skulls, we get a lot more board clear every single time. And given that she starts with a Storm, that blue Storm, you'll always be able to get that extra turn chance, or a higher extra turn rate since you have a Storm going, assisting you with the cascaded gems that fall into the board to be more the same color, giving you overall higher chance of extra turning. So for the final team here, another triple damage team. We're doing it with Web Spinner. You can simply just use whatever your best slot is here. Web Spinner, I guess, is technically a slightly higher rarity thing. It is a legend, but everything else is pretty accessible. 1 to stars. You got Vault Event Weekend right now, so if you don't currently have it, you can grind for it literally right now. Helilya, of course, being the Mythic. Leprechaun to get everything rolling. And then we're just using whatever our best skull-oriented first slot is. In this case, we have a Web Spinner here, but of course you can downgrade or upgrade. Though actually, there's not really an upgrade. I guess there's a side grade. But, you know, whatever you end up wanting to run as your skull-assisting option here. Also, I do kind of want to go try that first team again. It seemed really weird that we couldn't really get the whole, like, blue spam mechanic down. But, yeah, her getting frozen. Huge liability. I do not understand why they did not give her immune to freeze. Luckily, given that you have to run Wand of Stars on like every team in existence these days, maybe that's a problem with the first 2 teams. We didn't have Wand of Stars. Solution to everything, just put Wand of Stars on your team. But, yeah, Wand of Stars does fix her not being immune to freeze issue. But that doesn't fix the issue of having to put Wand of Stars on like every other team you ever build. Let's see. Do we have a skull here? We do. And it just kills it out with Web Spinner doing triple damage to pretty much everything in the game, as long as you don't have immune to web or entangle there. I mean, web or poison. But, okay, let's hope she doesn't get frozen this time. I want to go use this mechanic. I feel like we didn't get like the really good double sweep. I think the other issue is that I'm not using a Leprechaun. I tried making it pure blue and everything. I think that's the big issue too, is it's just really hard to feed into one color when you're not using a mana accumulator that can really give you that one color. Let's see, come on, we just need a little bit of blue. I'll take that one over, nice, cascaded. We'll go for, can I take a green here? Yeah, we'll go for that. Honestly, I might just have to cast our ability to get the blue I need. Oh, let's hope it doesn't miss. Let's see, do we get it? It does look like we got the extra turn. We didn't get the blue we needed though. We got our Zolgoth, okay. Well, we're not gonna be able to get our double set up. We're gonna kill everything with Skull before we do. That's one thing that's really nice about this is we're using Slayer. Slayer is one of those classes that does work pretty well with her or any Skull Spam team if you're ever building one. Slayer, I feel like used to be a lot more popular back in like when Zolgoth was like the entire meta in the entire game. But it has a lot going for it for skull damage. It gains Enrage whenever an enemy dies, Enrage every time you take an extra turn, basically forever Enrage, and triple damage to anything that is burning, which of course once we Zolgoth, the entire enemy team will be burnt, as well as freeze for other boost ratios. But yeah, they'll all be burning, so you have that triple damage. Enrage, of course, gives you 1.4 times extra skull damage, but also allows you to hit through any traits. So if they have a bunch of reduction or skull dodge or anything like that, you will just always be able to go and hit through it as if they don't have anything at all, which ends up working out really, really, really well. Hey, we finally got the full mechanic. Wow, about time. All right, so what we're going to do is get our double poke here and miss, of course, because why wouldn't it miss? And then she'll be forced, because she hits the weakest, to go target those two. And then we go for it again. Ideally, we can kill both these out and then just go straight to Zolgoth. I have to go for the early Zolgoth here. Let's get one Tug Shotgun there. Though, of course, we did get... no, never mind. She didn't get refrozen. We did get frozen on blue, though, because of our freeze gem backfiring, which, yeah, still being quite a bit of an issue. And after you get your double kill, boom, you just kill a Zolgoth and go from there. That did not work nearly as that clean the other times, though. But that in premise is what it wants to do. Get its double kill and then Zolgoth and just wipe out whatever's left. Is ideally what you get between Doomday and everything else. I think it's just the main mana accumulator. I think maybe just putting a Leprechaun or something there, you know, going with the classics. Nothing wrong with just Wanda Star's Leprechaun damage. It's a way that you build like almost every team these days. Obviously, it's not required. But having 2 damage sources and with a Leprechaun Wanda Stars just solves almost every issue of every team ever. I just really hate building like that because that just seems so much the meta right now, where almost like every other team feels like it has to be like that these days. But overall, verdict on the Mythic, yeah, it's slightly above average. Does like, you know, normal Skull Mythic things. I just don't feel like she has too many downsides to really use her a lot. Even though she's on the better sides of Mythics, I just can't really see too many situations where you're bringing her out other than, you know, restrictions where she might be useful. Pure Glacial Peaks, Undead Fae, stuff like that. But outside of those instances, she doesn't create as many gem spam. Yes, some of her gems are better, but she's creating less, meaning your extra turn chance is lower. She has no immune to freeze while freezing your entire team. So if you miss even a single time, your entire team's going to get frozen. And at bare minimum, she will get frozen because she does not have immune to freeze. So even if your other 3 have immune, you will still be frozen on blue, which is really bad given that she creates blue. So you might still be able to get your extra turn on Skull because your first slot has immune to freeze. But she herself will basically be freezing her own blue, which freezes half the extra turn potential while also having less gems to begin with. Yeah, it's just not ideal. I just really don't see a situation where you're going to be bringing her out much. Definitely okay for skull-oriented teams, but I just feel like there's a lot of ways to build better within the current state of the game as well as future options that we'll end up having ultimately. So for the most part, yeah, unless you really want her for kingdom upgrades or just have her for restrictions or stuff, I would say she's somewhat skippable. Unless you're just getting, you know, everything at the point. Once you have like half the mythics in the game, you generally just want to be going for every new mythic regardless of its viability. But overall, despite her being in the better half of mythics, I just really did not see a situation where you're bringing her out beyond very restrictive game modes where, you know, it's a restriction where you're going to kind of have to bring her out. But when you have the choice of pretty much any other skull option, even a common skeleton would probably be more overall value because it doesn't freeze your team while still having extra turn skull. Just with no mana accumulation, but his mana cost is low enough that doesn't really matter. But yeah, even just like skeleton, keeper souls, like skull spam options that have been around since like day 1 of the game are honestly probably more consistent than anything that you would generally use her in. So that's overall the verdict on her. Still probably get her overall, but it's very, very niche that you're bringing her out. but whenever the game mode does come out, at least you'll be able to go through the battle a little bit quicker. She does have a decent amount of damage, so in any kind of game mode like that, her damage output is good. It's just her extra turn potential that is really bad between her freezing her own team, including herself, as well as having less gem spawns than the average troop that is similar to her, making it up a little bit with the fact that she has both Storm and Doom Skulls instead of normal, but I don't think it's enough to justify it though overall. But anyways, that's a new Mythic. You have a week to go get it. Best of luck on the Vault event weekend. It's going on all of today and the next 2 days. We'll probably be streaming that tonight as well at our normal time that we normally do, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, go mess around her maybe a little bit more, and obviously go farm some Explore. Whoa, we need those tokens. Go get that 30-star Glacial Peak now. He's got 29. And yeah, go from there. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for watching.